Welcome to Thailand, AI. AI exploring how tech and daily life tie with Dave on this adventurous quest. Welcome to Thailand, AI, bringing you the best. Welcome to Thailand, AI, where innovation meets the sky. Dave's your guide in this tech-savvy ride. Thailand, AI. Let's see what we can apply.
Sawadee Cup and welcome back to Thailand.com.ai and g'day to everybody from the Songkran edition of Thailand.com.ai, because currently it's Songkran in Thailand and my water pistol has got bigger. Yesterday I went in search of AI and all I got was very wet, but I have got a video showing my exploits.
Well, here I am, Thailand.com.ai in Songkran. It's all happening here. I can't see any AI, but anyway, I can see plenty of water, but we'll see what happens, eh? It's all good fun. Part of the Thai New Year.
Anyway, today we shall be looking at large language models. In the last 2 weeks since my last video was uploaded, there has been a stack of new large language models and they're all trying to outcompete each other. So we might have a look at some of the news and try and explain a little bit about large language models. And then we're also going to look at a new music generator called Udio that is just taking everyone by storm. And I've got an interesting practical use case, I think. Well, it's interesting for me. Hopefully it's interesting for you. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is as new models are released with these large language models, there's like a leaderboard, as they improve. Now, every large language model has its own unique advantage or disadvantage, but as a general rule, as they improve rapidly. So I want to dive in here and have a quick look at the latest of the score of what's happening here. Right, now we go down here. Okay, so we'll shoot over here. So this is a leaderboard of large language models as, I'll move myself over there for a minute, as they're released. So Claude 3, which we talked about last week or in the last episode. Now, ChatGPT4 Turbo has now overtaken Claude 3. We've also got Bard's Gemini down here. So there's a couple of different, obviously we've got OpenAI, Anthropic and Google. There's lots of other Mistrals very good as well. So basically it's tit for tat. That's probably the best way to do it. Now what does that mean for us? Well, it's only going to continue to get better and better and better. What does it mean for me? It means that I have a choice now of what language model I use for creating AI assistants. So I'll try and run over a few things now just to show how practical this stuff actually is. So if we take, for example, a chat assistant here. So I have a chat assistant here. I'll put this over here. Okay. Oh, actually, no, I won't. I'll put it there. That's pretty good. All right. So if I just type in, here's a website. I know the guy that owns this. What do you sell? What do you sell? Because everybody sells something sometimes. Anyway, what do you sell? So let's see what comes from this answer. So at the moment, I'm currently using GPT4 Preview 11 version, which was one that was released probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So now they have a new version. So what I want to do is I want to change the versions in my code to see if I get a different answer. And if I get a different answer, then we can update. So back to the screen here. So if I have a look at what I've asked, what do you sell? And then it just basically lists real-time assistance. It doesn't give too much information, but basically that's the presentation. So where do we get this information from? So if I go into my code now, in Replit, I can see here that the version that I'm using in my code is GPT4 11.06 preview. So this was the real big moment when this one was released. It was released and it was very powerful above GPT 3.5. So language models, let's have a look and get a little bit of a better understanding of language models. Okay, so we can see here that the version I'm using, which was current up till the April 2023, so a year ago now, that's the version that I'm using to run my AI assistant. I'm now going to upgrade to this new version, this GPT4 Turbo version. Now, we have to look at pricing, and this will explain a little bit. Probably the best way I can look at it is, I don't know what happened when you went to school, but when I was at school, sometimes people would say, hey, you're the captain, you pick the football team, or you pick the team to play this game. And so normally, if it was football or something like that, you'd pick the biggest guys. You go, oh, yeah, you'll do, that's great. So basically, we always try and pick the best people to have on our team. So using language models, imagine them like different team players. So they have different skill levels. They have different specialist skills. Now, obviously, if they've got really good specialist skills and we need to pay them, we'd need to pay them more than someone who hasn't got specialist skills. However, someone who hasn't got specialist skills might do the job quite well. So if we go now and have a look down at the pricing of some of these models, it's all about tokens. People say to me, oh, what's a token? I don't understand. Okay, a token is probably well explained here. Token is basically pieces of words. If we think of a token as a piece of word, right? So OpenAI put it eloquently here. You can think of tokens as pieces of words where 1,000 tokens is about 750 words. This paragraph is 35 tokens. Okay, so we can see that is the measurement, that is what we're actually getting for our money. So with GPT4 Turbo, which I'm going to update to, in fact, I'm updating to the model just after that, it cost $10 for 1 million tokens US and $30 for the output. So just like the internet where you've got upload and download, people think, oh yeah, download, I need to download. But you also need to upload. You need to get back up to the internet. So in this case, the question you ask or the prompt that you ask, you will pay $10 for 1 million tokens, which consists of the tokens which are part of words that you're putting into your prompt. That's quite reasonable. Depending on the answers that come back, the longer the answer, the more tokens used. But in reality, some assistants will require a longer answer. Some assistants won't require a longer answer. So if you want the best, you're basically paying $30 US for 1 million tokens in your answers. So that's pricing there. If we now scroll down and we have a look at different models, we can see here in the Turbo 3.5 model, which is a very good general purpose model, it's only 50 cents for 1 million tokens and $1.50 for 1 million tokens output. Massively cheaper. In some applications, it's great, but if you want the full conversational skill of a large language model, I truly believe it's worthwhile paying for. Not in all cases. If you're getting millions and millions and millions of general questions that don't require a great deal of AI's imagination to be able to answer you like a human, then that's fine. But for the purpose of the exercise, let's actually test this model and see what happens. So in my code here, I have GPT4 11.06 preview. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my AI assistant and we'll just use my latest online info chat assistant here. So we can see that I've selected GPT4. So this is the language model I'm using. I'm now going to upgrade this to GPT4 Turbo. All right. Now, before I do, you can see that's the answer. What do you sell? Very simple. Let's see if there's a difference. If there's a difference in the answer we get when we upgrade the model. So the first thing I can do is I'll just change my code here and I will change that to Turbo, U-R-B-O. Okay, GPT4 Turbo preview. Click it back into here and make sure it's right. GPT4 Turbo preview. Yep, that's what I'm using. All right, so now I'm going to stop my code, rerun my code, and then I'm going to redeploy my code so it's got the latest version. Now, while that's doing that, we will jump over to here. And yeah, so we can see I have a knowledge base in my AI assistant that I can constantly update. There's my prompt. And this will be the large language model that I'm going to use to get my answers. I'll pop back into Replit here for a minute, and it's still just going through the process. It shouldn't take too long now. Okay, so yes, so there we'll see now how good this new model is and if there's a difference directly by changing the code into this. So what I will do is I will get rid of that. We will end the chat, start a new chat. So now we've started a new chat. I go into Replit. It's still being deployed. It shouldn't take a minute. And that should be deployed. When I get the OK on that, then we can shoot over to the site and actually have a look. Okay, there we go. So it's now fully deployed. So that new code change has taken effect. So let's see if there's a difference. What do you sell? Same question. Do we get a different answer with the different and latest large language model? So the knowledge is taken from the same knowledge base, haven't changed the knowledge base. All they've done is change the tool that is going to actually give us the feedback to the answer, or the answer to the question that we've asked. Okay, so now we can see it's presented in a different structure. Okay, so that's quite good. All right, very good. Okay, so we can see there from that by changing that model, we've had a different response. So the way the world will be looking at these things is tokens, tokens, tokens. Who's got different tokens? We can use different language models for different purposes, but it's moving forward at such a pace. All right, so let's have a look at the next thing. Yes, so the world of AI music is really hotting up. You would have known I created my jingle using an AI program called Suno, but there's actually a new one now called Udio Studio without the ST. So the interesting thing is the music creation is getting better and better and better, and I really can see the music industry being turned on its head because there's lots of creative people out there like me, I suppose, who can never play a musical instrument. That's why I used to DJ a bit, but anyway, I love creating music if I can. So if you listen to Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever other music streaming service you use, they're all now going to AI. So if I pop down here and have a look at the AI playlist that is now in beta on Spotify, it's great. You can actually put in how you feel and it will create a list of music for you. But we can go one step further. Udio is free at the moment. Free. You can create like 1,000 songs. It's crazy. So what I did is, I don't know about you, but I can't spell very well because I've just realised I've put psychedelic spelled phonetically, but anyway. So I like to go to bed at night and listen to music as it relaxes me, puts me to sleep, and depending on the mood I'm in, I usually like sort of, fairly lo-fi music. But then I had an idea. I thought, hey, I'm a pretty motivated guy, but sometimes I'm not motivated at all. So how about I actually seed my own music? Instead of just listening to a Spotify playlist, which is fine, don't get me wrong, commercial music is fine, but you can create some stuff yourself. So if we look down here, I've just put in a prompt, and I've gone to Udio, so it's just udio.com. You can sign up. I've just signed in with my normal Google account. And I've asked for a song that is psychedelic, spelt wrong, psychedelic chill music to help me sleep with tribal music chants saying, Dave, you can do anything, you set your mind, never give up. Now, bear with me on this. I don't necessarily need motivation, but if you're the sort of person that really wants to put a message over and over in your head at night, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, this could be good or bad. But basically I thought, well, why not? If I'm listening to calm music, it might as well be telling me what I can and can't do and giving me confidence. So I've created this. It creates a 30-second music video initially, but then what happens is once you've created your 30-second music video, you can extend it. So this is a 1-minute extension of a song. I can swim the deepest sea, apparently. So that's not bad. That's fully original music created by the AI. That's version 2. So I've created a 1-minute clip. You can extend these clips. I think I'll extend the first one and we'll just extend it. So that will actually extend both clips at the same time. So I've used 5 of my 800 daily limit. I don't think I'll be creating songs for that long, but hopefully you can see the point. So now if you like a particular genre of music or you like to sleep to something, you can make your own mixes. You can make like a 3-hour mixtape if you wanted to. And because you can actually put your own content, your own lyrics, your own themes of what you want to do, I mean, there might be a very practical daily use case for this. I mean, if you're jogging and you like a particular type of, heavy metal music or whatever, there's every genre known to man in here. Now, opens up an interesting point as to who owns the rights for this music. I mean, I guess nobody does. The AI created it. You've just used the prompt. So there's an argument. Say, for example, an artist creates an image, uses AI to create 80-85% of the image and then goes and changes the image around to get it perfect in their mind's eye, the way they want it. I do that quite often when I create YouTube thumbnails, for example. You're still actively creating that music. You still do need to put a prompt in, but, I think you're drawing a long bow when you say, oh, I've created this music. I mean, it's very different. Creating an image and then changing it, with Photoshop or whatever you're going to use, I think is very different to just saying to the AI, hey, create me this. But certainly the quality of the music is quite good. So that's now blown out to 138. So let's go back to, they've renamed. How about I fast forward it to over here?
Whispered vows, set your fears then. Dave, you can break through every wall. Dave, you can rise after each fall. Dave, you can conquer every doubt.
Wow. That is positive reinforcement, if I've ever seen it. Okay, so let's just do another one here. So why don't we create my creations? I've created a few there. Discover. There's a whole stack of other people's music on here that you, of course, can use. So what I will do is we'll go pricing. At the moment, the pricing is free. Thank you for using this. You can make up to 1,200 songs a month. That's a lot of music. But yes, anyway, so that is the latest in AI music creation. And again, there's a practical use case that might be good. You can create music of any genre you want. I noticed when I put in, I wanted music like Alan Walker, techno, it says, we can't, we're not using artist names or anything, but this is the sort of music, the genre that he's done. So it's quite open and really quite amazing. And I can see it just going to personalised, very personalised music to dial down exactly what music you like, whether it's sleeping, running, jogging, rocking out in the backyard with air guitar. It's up to you. Okay, so that's the AI music section. Yes, and last but not least, we'll just have a quick look at the news in Thailand, or basically AI news in Thailand. Been very quiet over the last week. It is Songkran. Songkran started about 2 days ago and it's got about three days to go. But basically, there hasn't been much AI news. If I go down to the Bangkok Post on the 10th, there is a Senate election coming up here in Thailand, which basically, is a fairly lowbrow. It's not a major country election like, say, the US election or the previous elections here in Thailand. But they've obviously realised that AI can start to influence and sway people. So the article basically says the Electoral Commission needs to be aware and maybe set some rules about AI. Personally, I think the cat's out of the bag, but, we've got to try these things. And the other interesting story, which I actually find, this is, again, we talk about the crossover between AI and IoT. So air conditioners, it's hot in Thailand. It's obviously very, very hot in April. That's why they have Songkran and they chuck water everywhere, because basically no one complains because it's hot. So the sweltering temperatures are predicted to be a 20% growth in air conditioning. So this story basically is saying that over the next couple of years, air conditioners have already started to increase sales, and they're saying over the next 5 to 10 years, air conditioner market in Thailand and Asia is promising higher temperatures and are likely to persist with an estimated growth of 10 to 20% year on year. So basically more and more and more air conditioners. Now, the problem with air conditioning is it's great when you're sitting in it, but it uses a lot of energy. And this is where IoT really comes into play. So the more that we start to look at how we control things your air conditioner can be controlled by the IoT device, which is usually an IR device, and I've got a bit of a sneak preview of a new device coming shortly, which solves a lot of the problems of controlling air conditioners that are an issue. But if you think you're controlling your air conditioner from anywhere in the world and you're using maybe just timing, your scheduler, I want my aircon to come on at 5 in the morning and turn off at 10 at night, whatever the case may be, or come on and go off when I'm at lunch. We could go one step further by using AI to actually establish what the outside temperature is based on the current information it has at its fingertips. It can basically, if you wanted to, it can work out how you want your aircon to come on, make suggestions to you. It can work on the energy consumption of your air conditioner. It can work out the most efficient way. It can make all sorts of changes to your energy usage in your air conditioner. So that was just an article that I thought was quite interesting. But anyway, I'll leave it there for this week, and I'll see you again in the next episode, and thanks for watching.